bitch knocking on my motherfucking door.
Is Trina there? Is she coming out?
I say, hey, put that thing in that bitch mouth.
Cause I don't like your daughter, bitch. Go on in my refrigerator.
Every nigga that nut in her, somehow they hate her. Her 2 kids that she kept cause she thought the dude was
Just don't give a fuck. Then they ducked out of her ass.
Fuck that silly slut.
Even though this big ass pussy, I don't want to fuck her though. Cause it's his daughter.
Get the daughter out my face before the slaughter.
I don't like your daughter, bitch.
I told you he had
I told you he had some shit. Hey, 5150 Nation. This is your boy Juan Carlos Grande, aka John G the MVP. And I am a 5150 Nation chat room goon. You did? 5150 Nation. Alright, what to do? Sorry, a little late posting this vid. Kind of getting news of this whole thing, but yeah, so another dope show. I mean, the last show, the Fuck You show, was dope, and sometimes you expect for it to be a fall off, but in this case, I mean, another dope show. Here we have 5150, 11/3/15. Are white people dumb or playing dumb? Or are they just playing dumb? First off, we have the shit talking. Before we get to the loose talk about bullshit segment, throw your Z's up. So before we got there, we go to the shit talking, and first we start off with which I thought was hilarious. Freeze was on point. I mean, he off the chain. This episode with the voices was just ridiculous. So off the break, we come with the jig gigs. The jig gigs, you know what I'm saying? The jig gig was classic, explaining what happened with the whole chat room and whatnot. After that, they got to talk about Harlem Nights, and talking about the jig gigs or whatever. They kind of talked about Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights is a classic movie, so if you haven't seen that, everybody in the 5150 Nation, I mean, I imagine if you're a part of the nation, you probably already seen this, but if not, definitely go check that out. And also Mandingo. Mandingo is a great movie. Now, if you've seen Roots, it's more like the beginning of slavery and how slavery started. But Mandingo is like years into slavery. And so it's when I saw it, I was like, it is just a different perspective that up until that point I haven't really thought about. Especially when you see the scenes where the one lady was arguing or mad because she was raised to be the master's girl and stuff like that. And the scene Freeze talking about was a dope scene because Mandingo chased him down and he said something to him like, man, you out here doing this for these Peckerwoods? And he said this line like, while I'm hanging here, all you Peckerwoods can kiss my ass. Well, it's a dope movie. Definitely, if you haven't seen it, go check that out. So then again, Freeze killing it with the Obama and the Rainbow Plan. I have the Rainbow Plan. No problem. My internet. Classic quote: "My internet will get in your internet's ass." Again, Corey says, "My internet will get in your internet's ass." Every time, I always think it's funny, but every time, Corey going to his little rants, you know what I'm saying, about the gay shit or whatever, Zoe and Zarlene always look uncomfortable. I don't know if y'all noticed that. I'm pretty sure y'all have. But I think it's quite funny because every time they be looking like, you know what I'm saying. So then we go from there to the ongoing poetess joke. That is definitely a part of the show. She stole some money from this cat, so he gets that out the way. Now that Corey's done with the gay shit, Darlene gets back to joking around and shit. Cause for a minute there, she was a little agitated. Like I said, when they be on the gay shit, they kind of like, check out for a minute, be like they ain't really down with it or whatever. So obviously they feel some kind of way. But with that being said, I was reading in the comments, and as we all see, Corey is drinking this drink. I think the drink is by Naked or something like that. But quote me if I'm wrong. If y'all can leave a comment and let it be known so we can hear ourselves on this. But he's basically drinking a drink that has a byproduct of fetuses from abortions. So, one brother posted that, he's basically drinking a byproduct of his jokes, which is kind of, it's sick anyway, period, that somebody would be using, a fetus from abortion in this way is crazy anyway, period. But it is ironic that if that is indeed truth, in fact, that he would be drinking, a byproduct of his own joke is real crazy. But yeah, so if we know better, we should do better. So with that being said, do your research. Pretty much, if most of the shit that's being sold, sodas and most of these juices is some shit that, in my opinion, you shouldn't be drinking it. Say no to soda. Shit is just full of sugar, and basically it's not food, and so it's basically killing you slowly. In so many words. So on from there. Hope we get to Cornel West. They started talking about some other stuff, and Cornel West, making that statement. And if you ain't willing to go to jail, if you ain't willing to die, you're gonna have to be willing to do these things in this fight, in this struggle, because we still in the fight and we still in the struggle. Like I said last week, Nat Turner. If whoever's not willing to ride, they gotta go. We got to turn around and kill them, because these are gonna be the monkey wrenchers that are gonna fuck it up for everybody else. So again, we must address this. And then, man, moving on from there, Freeze killing it with the voices. If y'all don't know who Freeze, you definitely gotta check this episode out, because Freeze is straight killing it with the voices. Laugh my ass off funny. Then they move on to talking about the bogus shit that be going on, and the whole professor at Harvard getting arrested in his own house. Obviously it's bullshit. It's something that we've all seen before, all the way dating back to when it was first visually shown. Was, in my opinion, the whole Rodney King was the first time that we saw it in that light. And ever since then, social media's kind of picked up. People have gotten more and more camera phones. And so by that being the case, by it being more readily available, of course, you're going to get more, visual pics of what's going on in the communities. And so that was the first time we saw that Rodney King shit. So, the whole shit with the professor, the Harvard professor, getting arrested in his own home, he being black. Of course, it was bogus. The whole system is bogus. We got a lot of racist people that are in positions of power. So essentially, the KKK just became police officers and judges. So that same racist mentality is still existence, obviously, and they're in positions to persuade things in their favor and basically get off, because they get off on this stuff the same way a pedophile gets off on boys, the same way a man gets off on another man on some gay shit, or the same way somebody gets off on lying or fucking somebody over. It's just something that people get off on, and they get off on that shit when they can fuck a nigga over, kill somebody type shit. So whenever they get that urge to, they can do that. They can put their badge on and go out and just go kill a nigga because they got the urge to. They probably had a meeting. They sat around, man, we want to go out and do this. They can go do that. Who gonna stop them? So until we band together, organize, and strike, shit is gonna continue to happen. So Freeze makes the comment about if you don't see a picture, then you know it's a white person or a person that's non-black. Because if it was a black person, you can definitely bet the picture is gonna be in the paper. So that's probably safe to say, without the least. At least in my experience, I've seen that quite a bit. Corey goes in about the white lady getting attacked at the zoo. And y'all, come on, white people. Y'all know y'all be doing some crazy shit. You know, the whole, zoo shit or whatever. I mean, y'all always be on some craziness or whatever. Again, Freeze with the voices. Your eye bucking and your nose flaring. Eye bucking. Laughing my ass off. Classic quote there. Crimety. Crimety, that was the classic line there. Corey talking about the whole, I guess the other stadium. I didn't realize they got money from when that shit happened with the stadium. So I guess in Atlanta, somebody said, y'all showing too many niggas kissing and all other kind of shit, trying to get some money. But then I'm getting the Freeze, man. He killed me with the eye bucking, and then he talking about the prize buck, cabin, all this shit. Milwaukee. And look, people always be tripping on when I say I'm from Milwaukee, and they'll be like, "Is black people in Milwaukee?" Yeah, there is. Now, Wisconsin is a big ass state, and it's not a lot of people. It's not a lot of black people in Wisconsin. Milwaukee is, one little ass city out of the entire state. Trust me, the rest of the state is white as shit. But yes, there are black people in Milwaukee. That's where all the white black people are mainly at. All the rest of them are, sprouted out here and there in the surrounding cities, but it's all in Milwaukee. And just like Chicago and Detroit and, Indiana and Kansas City, like the whole Midwest region, same shit. So yeah, the dude, trying to buy the watches he can sweat it on. Yeah. Basically, it's now when Corey made the statement later in the show, he talks about Chicago being very diverse, and I'm pretty certain what he meant was segregated, because he said that he didn't see white people until they got to LA. So I'm pretty certain he meant to say segregated. And Chicago, from all my experiences, just like Milwaukee, is a very segregated city. Black people stay here, whites stay here, and Hispanics stay here. And you can see it. You've never been to the city before. When you get there and you drive around, it's visually, you can see it visually. Like, it's very obvious. So yeah, going on from there, Corey says Rosie told Oprah to come on out. Come on, Oprah. Admit that shit. Which was funny. Freeze talking about the niggas on the DL, which is some bullshit. If you gay, motherfucker, be gay. Don't be out here faking and, having a girl and shit and the nigga on the side. Like, if you're gonna be the fuck you who you are. Like, I don't like what the fuck you do, but, it's not that I don't like you. I just don't believe in the actions that you do. Just like I'm pretty sure that we all love pedophiles and murderers. You just don't know that's what they are, but you love them. And if you knew that they had this sickness about them, you might look at them different, obviously. But as it stands right now, these are some of your teachers, some of the people that you confide into, and they straight up got a problem. They pedophiles, they gay, they murdering people or whatever. So the shit needs to be addressed, accordingly how it is, and not be given rights. I mean, that's some fuckery right there. Gotta be real careful with that right shit. If you're gonna give gay rights, then you gotta give pedophile rights, and give, murder rights and rights to everything else. So you gotta be real careful with that shit. They go on to talk about The Butler, the movie. Me, myself, I think I've seen some of it, but I really haven't seen it too much. I think just a piece of it. Matter of fact, the one that I saw of The Butler was the one with Forrest Whitaker. So I didn't see the one with the chick. Maybe it might be two different butlers, but I think Lee Daniels is the one that made the butler with that Forrest Whitaker in it. But I ain't see the one with the chick from How to Get Away with Murder, which is another. I'll rant on that some other day. But that movie, that show is a trip. All right, so Chris is on point with the unders. Gotcha, bitch, and all these other little, little bruh, all the little joints right there. He on point with it this time because it's so many, man. This talking shit segment before the Z's was off the hook. I mean, just every moment they was going from one point to another. And then Freeze back killing it with the voices, talking about the Euro meat. I mean, that's nasty, dog. No chill with the gay shit, with the slurpy butt. I mean, just, dude, no chills whatsoever. So Freeze straight killing with the guy roommate. And, oh yeah, Corey has no idea what he says. In my opinion, I don't think he has no idea what he says when he says about Allah, cleaning your butt or something like that. I don't think he realized what he said. But peace and blessings be to us all. I don't think he really meant no disrespect. But again, I can't speak for him specifically. I don't know what exactly it meant. I'm just only assuming that he didn't know what he was saying. Moving on from there, the white cheese, yellow cheese, I thought that shit was funny. Now Freeze is killing it with the Arabic and the voices. Then he goes to the African voice, and with the whole stew and the boo-boo stew. Actually, finally, Darlene is getting restless. She's getting tired of all the bullshit. They done sat here and clown for I don't know how many minutes just on various shits. And she finally is getting agitated. And we finally get to the segment that we all loose talk about bullshit. Throw your Z's up. Alright. So now we get to this little pussy ass segment of the show. First off, we get to this whoever this white lady is in the whole NAACP thing, whatever, how she feels black inside and all this other kind of crap. Whatever. I mean, if it was somebody black doing this to get over on white and they caught it, you can almost, especially if they got paid, you can almost definitely know that they would be going to jail. They would be, fined and sued and all other kind of shit. If somebody were to be black, posing as white, and came off with money and got caught, they would go to jail. Obviously, we already know this. It's nothing new. But anyways, how can you feel something you never been? So that's bullshit, right there. You talking about you feel this way, but you ain't never been that way, right? So Corey is right. I mean, she could definitely be labeled as insanity for impersonating. And here we brings to the Milwaukee stand up for some bullshit. The real live Clayton Bigsby. And just another cool motherfucker who on some bullshit. And yes, I mean, it's a lot of cool motherfuckers in your city too. It ain't just Milwaukee. Shit, Chicago, Kansas City, Maryland, boy, it don't matter. Everybody got one. So don't act like it's something special. Milwaukee is just, motherfucker, is some bullshit in Milwaukee. All right. And then, boy, Freeze, back killing it again with the Supreme Coon. He's quite fine with it. He's quite happy with it. That shit was on point. Laughing my ass off. All right, so then we move from that topic to the next topic being about the gay boxer. Whatever, who cares? But the quotables there was the shit flicks. I thought that was funny. Shit flicks and fan. We got a fan in here. Move on from that to Star Wars. Now Corey killing it with some voices. Bitch, shut the fuck up. That shit was funny. Bring me Wookie. Darlene Book. That picture. Let's talk about that picture. First off, it's classic, and Darlene is you probably be like me. You're a little suspicious of her. Is she an agent type shit? You know what I'm saying? You starting because definitely Corey later in the show, he definitely put it out there. I think that's obvious that he thinks that possibly she may be. I don't know what y'all think. Tell me, because that's what I'm saying. That he possibly may think this way, but whatever. The fact is, though, Darlene has been in this whole game of hip hop since the beginning. I mean, Ice-T kind of did start. He was at the very forefront of West Coast rap, of gangster rap. So she's been around for a very, very long time, and she can account for a lot of shit. And let's just be honest, the show wouldn't be the same without her, because whenever she wasn't there, it just something was missing. So Darlene is the homie, but I must say I'm a little suspicious. I hope folks don't go that route and sell out, if you will, quote unquote. But anyways, that picture, oh my god, her body, ooh wee, that girl look good. Anyways, her book. What y'all think about this book? Y'all gonna buy this book or what? Y'all gonna support? I think y'all should support it. I mean, it's 5150 Nation. Why not? I think you should support. I'm just interested to know what it's gonna be about. It's probably gonna be some basic shit, just my life and what she experienced, and maybe some stories that she's never really told. And it's a hustle. You know what I'm saying? I can't knock how she trying to get her paper. I mean that picture itself is gonna. Matter of fact, she didn't even have to write a book. She could have just come out with a picture joint. Back on Mo D and his broke spring, and that's why he ain't make it or whatever. LL and Mo D battle was pretty dope. LL, you can't front. I mean, he's definitely up there in the books in terms of the greatest. Top 20. I definitely put him top 20. Because at one time, I mean, he was the man. I mean, you got to think about it. At one time, he was on point with his shit. So, you can't front on him. Yeah. So, what do y'all think about the book? Y'all going to buy the book? Y'all going to support? I mean, why not? Support the book. You know what I'm saying? What else we got here? Congrats to Darlene, you know what I'm saying? Sidebar, hang time. I thought that was a Milwaukee phrase. I don't know. 'Cause I don't think everybody talk like that. Maybe it's a Midwest thing. But yeah, when you have braids, even when you did have braids, when you might have a wave nouveau or something, whatever your hair hanging off your head, that's referred to as hang time. So I thought that was funny because I ain't think nobody said that but us. I don't know about y'all, but it's obvious that Corey can't stand how Zoe vouches for all women. I think he was finna talk about some shit, and you know how Zoe just, no matter what, I don't give a fuck who it is. Like, Florida Evans, she was a bad bitch. Even Freeze had to stop and say, what? So you mean to tell me Florida Evans was a bad bitch? Like, man, shut your ass up, man. So moving on from there, Holly Berry story. Corey posed the question: how many divorces do you gotta have before you a bitch? I mean, she done got married to a few cats, got divorced by a few cats, so that's a valid question. Freeze on the whoopee voices was funny. And why is it that, I mean, Corey be kind of fucking with Darlene on her vision, but why is it that she be wishing a bad vision on this nigga every time? And I guess she's just saying the whole shit about, hey, be careful what you make fun of type shit. But she be going in like, boy, I wish your ass can't see so you can see how I feel. But that's funny. Hey man, what y'all think? I kind of think the banter between Corey and Darlene is similar to, not quite the same, but similar to that of Martin and Gina. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like how they go back and forth. and he be fucking with her, and she don't get too irritated by it, but you can tell it definitely get under her skin. So I think that shit is funny. Um, oh, and the sirloin lips, man, I laughed my ass off. Sirloin lips. So yeah, now it's break time. Now we go to the break. Let's take a break. And that break time, what we got? We got a little music that they play for us on deck at break time. So I'm gonna break down the music for you this week. First up, the first track we had I thought it was a pretty dope track. None of these had lyrics to it, so it wasn't no rapping or singing. The only thing is, man, Chris 5150, Corey, man, y'all don't never say who the music is made by, you know what I'm saying, and how people can maybe get it or listen to it. So, if somebody do hear something that they like, they don't know nothing. Like, it's just some music being played that I believe people are submitting, you know what I'm saying, from the 5150 Nation. So I think it'd be tight if we could all, either get an idea as to who made it. And then two, it'd be tight if there was a 5150 Nation CD every year. I mean, drop a CD. Everybody that done submitted stuff throughout the year, you know what I'm saying? Drop the CD. I think that would be dope. I mean, I think I'd buy it. I think a lot of people would want to buy it. If it was a slick presentation of music that was all put together by the 5150 Nation. So I'll throw that out there. That'd be dope. Moving on to the second track. The second track was a slow melodic beat. Again, no lyrics. I thought it was decent. The third track was like a remix joint. I thought it was tight. And then finally, the fourth joint was a slow jam. Again, another good selection. Nothing was foul. It was four good songs. I think the one that I liked the most was the first one. The first one was real dope. The third one was a slick remix. And then 2 and 4 was straight. So that was the little music breakdown. So now we to it. And right off, we start with the whole Fox shit. So I'm sure y'all done seen this whole shit. I think this is, I kind of agree with Zoe. It's a little, propaganda or whatever. They're both kind of there to play their part. The angry black man and the naive, dumb white woman who makes all these crazy ass comments and shit. So I kind of think they're both there to play their part, but whatever. So we get to the Fox face off. Let's see if we can pull this up a little image of that. So yeah, we get to this little Fox face off, and they talk about the whole, shit with the girl. The Fox face off. So yeah. Now we like I said before, I think she was playing it there. I think basically she was an actor. If you look at her, she looks like an actor. She doesn't really look authentically like a teacher. I mean, the whole shit just kind of looks staged. Especially when you've seen this shit before. You've seen it once, you start to see it again and again. It just looks staged to me. So, but now we're here to the main topic of this episode. Are white people dumb, or are they playing dumb? In my opinion, it's a mixture of both. I'm going to put it to you like this. The smart white people play dumb. That's just what it is. The smart white people play dumb. They sit back and act like they don't know what you're talking about. And they know very full well what you're talking about. That's just what it is. The smart white people play dumb. They sit back and act like they don't know what you're talking about. And they know very full well what you're talking about. So, but then there's some that really just they don't really have a clue. But in either event, I don't think it mattered either way. I mean, it's something that real people will connect with real people. And when you're dealing with real people, you will see that color is just a matter of reference. And you're going to not like someone because you don't like that person, or you like someone because you simply like that person. And you don't walk around just not liking someone because they are, black, white, or whatever the case. I don't like you because I don't like you. And that's just how real people operate and roll. It's only the ones that are naive, sheltered, or, just really don't have no idea that, in fact, they will just not like someone purely because of the land they represent or the physical nature they possess. Um, so Freeze makes a comment and said that basically they would trick you, that people are non-confrontational, that they'll more or less trick you. They're not going to step to you or whatever. Again, Zoe talks about the propaganda, which I kind of agree with. But, you know, the whole fact that the cop was able to, and not even that he was able to, just the reality is he did what he did. And because there's a lack of organization in our community or in that community where that child is, and because of the lack of organization, there's nothing. Some people in uproar, various people, everybody mad, everybody see it, but nobody doing nothing about it. There's nothing being done. There's, like Free said, we want to bring him out here. We want his head on the platter. That ain't happening. It ain't gonna happen only because there is no place like that. And then Zoe brings up a very good point. And at this point, we basically shift. I mean, the topic was one thing, but now it just is about to shift, and we're about to just turn gears because we never even go back to the people shit no more. At this point in the episode, we're gonna just shift gears because we're gonna talk about the various groups and why they didn't help. And so Zoe brings up the AKAs. Where are they at? Why are they not in uproar? Why are the women feminist groups? Why are they not up in arms? And then so Corey brings up, well, what is the AKA? What is that? Greek fraternity. Well, what is that? So now we switch gears here. We start talking about Greek fraternities. And I know some of y'all in the 5150 Nation, y'all are in fact frat. You done pledge, you know what I'm saying? You represent your Greek or whatever. So it is what it is. Maybe at the time you didn't know. But yeah, I mean, it is a very good point. Why would you want to be, you black and you want to be Greek? Why would you want to do that? I think that's a valid question. And then when you find out that it's kind of started with the boule, and if all they did was just take and copy the shit that the devil is using, then that's bogus. Like, still, that ain't yours. You just copying something that ain't yours. So if it was some bougie blacks who like, yo, I'm better than you, and we finna create this secret society, and to me that's just bogus anyway. Yeah, a society with secrets, is bullshit because now you're not operating on the up and up. You got some underhand shit going on. So they get into the whole talk about alphas and which was first, and Corey brings up the whole Kappa wedding, which is, I think, the pinnacle of success for the devil. Because if the ultimate goal is to destroy the black family, how you do that is destroying the black man. The optimum way, the top way to do that is to make him fall in love with himself. And so the Kappa wedding, in my opinion, is the peak of success for the devil because it symbolizes that, this is exactly opposite of family. Obviously, there is no procreating when you got two gay motherfuckers together. So, it's something that mentally needs to be addressed. It's a mental orientation that needs to be addressed, and we're going to have to figure it out because, like another brother I heard say that we beat crack, we beat, basically we beat the drugs. We beat different things, but this gay shit done kind of took a hold on us another way than the drugs have and the diseases. So the crack didn't work, the AIDS didn't work, Ebola ain't working, but the gay shit is working. All right. Oh, sidebar, man. I don't know about y'all, but Chris got the goofiest laugh, dude. Sound like a cornball when he laughed. Thought that was funny. Did you see how did y'all check out how Corey looked at Darlene when she said the whole statement about you gonna be in his life? Let me see if I can get to that. When she said, you want to be in his life though, right? And Carl looked at her like, what? Be in his life? I'm going to say hi. I'm not going to be in his life. I thought that shit was funny. So, again, you can tell that Darlene is not comfortable whenever Corey go into his gay bash and gay rants. And then Zoe always switch the subject up. You always get out that shit like, I think it's right here. Funny. So yeah, they move on. Zoe switches the story back up and talks about the HBCUs, the historically black colleges. And yeah, I've recently heard that in the books they're taking the word slavery out and putting it in with laborers. So now, when we came up, they just didn't teach us. We was getting the whole shit about Christopher Columbus. All right. So we didn't learn the truth about that until we was in our my generation, we was in our 20s when we really learned, like, wait a minute, that was some bullshit? Oh, they ain't teach us that. So now they don't flip the script, so all you gotta do is just rewrite the manual. So if in the manual we take out slavery and just, these new kids, they ain't even gonna bone no slave. And I may be getting ahead of myself, but let's talk about that whole slavery shit for a second. The reason why they'll take it out the book and make it as laborers, because that way they can disidentify with the fact that there was even slavery. So if you have slaves, then that means that there was slavery. And if you take it out, then that means now a kid can't even question, not that they can't, but they'd be less likely to even question the teacher on, whatever, because it's not even there. But here's a fact. If they were to admit to it and say, you know what, we're sorry, we were wrong. If they come out and admit to the slavery and said they were wrong for it, then at that moment they would put themselves on the clock for paying us back. So basically our reparations, which is not, I don't even know at this point how you would even measure that, who would actually get it, because there's so many people here new, so you would definitely have to get, in my opinion, you would definitely have to get your blood tested, and it would have to be some shit where it's proven that you're a descendant of someone that was brought up through this slave system. Otherwise, everybody and their mama gonna have their hand out, especially like that white lady who was playing black. All kind of motherfuckers like her gonna have their hand out, successfully get money. So for it to be done legitimately, well, you have to get your blood tested, in my opinion. But again, it's a debt. How are you gonna pay that? They're not gonna pay that debt. It's a debt that they can't even afford to pay. The only thing you can do is try to make some kind of amends and say, I'm sorry. Something to just show for it. And really, the best way to pay it off is in future. I can't pay you up all today, but I can give you this. Here's what I can give you, and I'm gonna put something on it every year. That's how that debt would have to be paid off. But So they done flipped the script and did all this. Freeze makes the point about how the slave money is what the banks are, how the banks got started. And it's all systematic. So if the whole people that owns the banks owns the radio station and communications, well, hell, now I can control the information and I can control how you think and how you act. So it's very much a system. It's all by design. And ever since 9/11, I think more and more people are starting to wake up. So with that being said, I think that's what makes the internet so dope. And that's what makes this 5150 nation, in my opinion, so powerful, is that we can all connect in a way that TV would try to filter. See, this internet shit, if you just turn your phone on, you feel some kind of way, you can post it. You can say it and put it out there and let the world know, and it can be seen. And so, whatever it is, good, bad, or whatever in between, you have that ability, you have that power. So don't underestimate the power of turning on your phone, hitting record, and saying what you gotta say. I think, in my opinion, Corey has a lot of common sense and street smarts. He might not be one who is very book has a lot of book smarts. Maybe he doesn't know all the certain words or whatever. Maybe he doesn't know how to say things correctly all the time, but you can tell he's not a dumb person. And there's a lot of people out there like that, where, shouts out to Kaya Davis, man, I got love for you. You say gargantuan, I say big as shit. And so, to me, Corey would fit in that category. He would understand big as shit. Whereas gargantuan, he might look at you funny, like, what? But if you say big as shit, oh, I know exactly what you mean. So I think, a lot of us are like that, where this whole linguistics and language can kind of get you caught up. But don't think for 1 second that I'm dumb, because I'm not. It's just a whole factor of understanding. And so when you're dealing with this language and the way we take the language and put our own spin on it, we come from the generation where bad don't mean bad, bad mean good. This is what we do. We take the language and we flip it up and use it the way we want to. So, intelligence can be measured in so many different ways. And people that are book smarts, like my mom used to always say, if you got book smarts but you ain't got no common sense, you ain't got no common sense, you basically, you fucked. So yeah, they're going from that to what we talk about now. Fitting the profile, man. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have people that want you to try to fit into this certain mold. Tuck in your shirt, put on your tie, stand up straight, speak well, walk this way. You want to fit this mold so that you can be acceptable. And then my question is, acceptable by whose standards? Why am I standing up this way? Why am I walking? Why am I doing all these certain things? Why am I walking in this certain movement? Who am I trying to, what system am I trying to fit in? Maybe I don't want to tuck in my shirt. Maybe I don't want to put on a tie. Maybe I don't want to speak and say gargantuan. So that means that I'm not smart or that I can't succeed. That's what they'll make you believe. Again, Cornel West, going back to him, makes a statement, and I think Freeze Love is the one that referenced it. You got to be willing to go to jail. You got to be willing to die, baby. Because guess what? You're going to die anyway. So I don't know what ducking for. Like if you ducking and you just living just to survive, then you ain't living no way. You might as well be dead. You know. I'm gonna just put it like this. I mean, I think a lot of white people don't agree with and don't like the fact that the people that look like them do some of the wicked shit that they do. So with that being said, the conscious white people, y'all gotta be willing to kill because you right there. We can't get to them the same way you can. You standing right there next to them, and you know they wicked. You gotta be willing to kill too, baby. Pull that trigger, slit that throat. You can do that. You have that ability. Because again, you can get in places that we can't get into. So the conscious white people, y'all gotta be willing to be the monkey wrenchers and slay the wicked. The belly of the beast. What's your price? I mean, that's essentially what you into. I think Dave Chappelle's father told him, know your price, man, before you go into it. Know, and to me, I take that to be is know what it is you're going to put up with. Know what's your bottom line. Because when somebody come at you with that shit where it's like, hey, I want you to, for this money right here, I want you to do this. And you like, do what? And then you start questioning yourself. Like, I don't want to do that. But they done put all this money in front of me though. And so you start questioning your whole shit, and next thing you know, what you start doing is I believe people start moving their moral line back. You start saying, well, all right, I'll do this. This ain't that bad. And before you know it, you done move your moral line back so far that you just disgusted with your own self because now you doing shit that you know you would normally do. But you done got caught up now. Programming. That's what it's all about, man. They just trying to program you, man. They want you to be a robot. And they put certain things in place to make that happen by feeding you certain foods. Because if I feed you foods that don't allow you to think, I can tell you some bullshit and you'll believe it. So your diet is very much a part of the programming process, along with, the music and the visual aid of TV. It's all part of the programming. So now we get to the Black Network. I'm going to just call it the Black Network. I said it before. If you're a part of the 5150 show, the 5150 Nation, chances are you were a Dave Chappelle fan. And so here's where I'm at. 5150, Umar Johnson, Dick Gregory, Brother Polite, Sarnetta TV. Now, Tariq Nasheed, I don't really follow him like that. I do like the Hidden Colors, but him, myself, personally, by him being a former pimp and all this other kind of shit, and matter of fact, I'm gonna just put it like this. Tariq, Zoe, and Tommy Sotomayor, I don't know what these dudes know personally about each other or how they're connected, but it's just something about them three that I definitely don't fuck with Tommy at all. I mean, he be on that coon shit. And like I say, Tariq, Hidden Colors, you can't argue with that. They are good. I do question, the fact that he says white supremacy like over and over and over again. And I kind of feel like it's on some programming shit. Like, why you keep repeating that shit over and over and over type shit. But anyways, Unplug Him. My man from Detroit. If y'all don't know about Unplug Him, go check him out. He's the one that's kind of like letting you know about the musical inside secrets. Kind of like how, what's the kid name? Public Enemy's, Professor Griff. How Professor Griff is breaking down the music. Unplug Him. Go to his channel. He does the same thing. And he has this thing where he kind of make this quote that spoke to me, which was eat the fish and throw away the bones. And that's what I'm going to say about this whole awakening. As we're waking up, and as you young people listen to this, eat the fish and throw away the bones. You know, you're always going to hear cases for both sides. And the one thing that I think we need to do is establish some kind of diplomacy with it all. We can't, I think the one thing we want to do, and I kind of don't like this whole thing about debating, because, you get into an argument, and when we come into consciousness, that to me is a problem, because when we start debating about who's right, and it's like, look, we got to get past the whole fact of who's right and who's wrong, so we can get to organizing and building. So this whole who right and who wrong shit, we got to get over that. In my opinion, Tommy Sotomayor, or Sissy Mayor, whatever his name is, the Sissy Mayor, I think the only reason why he gets as many followers as he does, I'm almost willing to bet that there are a lot of racist white people that follow his page and probably subscribe to his page, and black people who just don't like black people. There are a lot of us who we just don't like ourselves, and it's kind of like some of it is programming, because you just kind of have been conditioned to not like yourself. And so without even realizing it, you will watch something like that, and you kind of think it's conscious, because you're like, hey, he's talking about this person, and sometimes it might be something that really is messed up. But instead of him uplifting the sister and saying, you don't gotta do this, put on this blue hair and to try and look better, because this is what, he could be doing that, but nah, he up here calling them bitches, and I mean, whatever. So again, if he speaks to you and you like that shit, hey, do you. But I can't fuck with him myself. The whole way Zoe explains the Tariq story about how he talked to him and the way he kept explaining this shit was suspicious to me. Like, and I don't know, and finally Corey just had to be like, all right, dog, I believe you, nigga, shut up, because to me that shit was just suspicious. But whatever. Jealousy in men equals death. When a man is jealous of another man for whatever reason, it will go so far as killing you, literally. And to me, that shit is crazy, that somebody could not even know you, just be jealous of you so much that they can't take it to the point that they will kill you over it. And to me, like I said, that's just crazy. But it's a fact. So you got to be real careful, to me, and when and where you shine. You want to shine in front of your family, in front of your queen, but to shine in the public sometimes may not be, because somebody out there going to be hating on you. Now, you can't control that, but just try not to be, in my opinion, arrogantly shining in the open. Like, put some coolers on there, you know what I'm saying? Like, be cool, because the dude next to you looking at you sideways is ready to kill you because you up here just shining just a little too bright. My opinion. How to handle adversity. I mean, this is a thing that I think when you're young, it doesn't matter what you are, young or old, it's all about how many times you've gone through it. You can be an old person, if you've never gone through nothing, then you can do some shit that a young person would do, the same kind of mistake someone that's young has done. Or you can be someone who's young, who has gone through a bunch of shit already, and so now you just know how to handle yourself through adversity because you've already gone through it already. So it's really just experience. You don't know who you are until you go through some shit. And when you go through something, you realize, oh, okay, it's easy for you to be judgmental about somebody and how you wouldn't do that. And then you realize that, hell, it wasn't even that bad for you, and you was over here doing some shit worse than what they was doing when you was on the other side being all judgmental about it. So, you know, you don't know, you really never know who you are. So I would just say, you know, try not to be too judgmental about shit. And that shit happens, you live and learn and you move on. So learn how to deal with adversity. Corey said they coming at me. When he said that shit, Darlene got very uncomfortable again. Cause Corey put it out there. Look, he like, look, y'all gonna share this heat with me. Cause they coming. And Darlene looking like, But so the fact that because of the internet, this is being exposed to so many people. You got the people that's in the trap house, like Freeze said. You got the people that's in the weed spot, and then you got the old people, some people that they understand and know like this TV is bullshit. You know, the internet, I mean, it's super random. But hell, if you do get some consciousness, you find it and you hold on to it and you appreciate it because it's something there. It's something that's real. So, me personally, I haven't had TV in, I would say, at least 5 years now. What I've done is, because cable was costing too much. So 5150 Nation, this is what I do. Everything I have is subscriptions. I got Hulu, I got Netflix, and I have Amazon Prime. Now before, my cable bills was like $150 a month. Now I spend, I believe I spend $350 for the entire year. And I got more enough to look at. So when we talk about YouTube, all right there, you got a lot to look at. Not to mention, you throw in Netflix, Hulu, and then Amazon, I'm good. And then you have the internet. So the internet itself, you can look at a bunch of stuff by just going to their sites. So paying for TV is just whatever. So stepping away from television, unplugging from it, you can kind of desensitize yourself from it and step away from the programming. And then when you go back and look at it, you're gonna have this new perspective of it. It's kind of like how you went from drinking whole milk to skim milk. You know, when you first did it, you was like, it tastes like water. Then after you got used to it, you were straight with it. Then when you went back to whole milk, you know, the whole milk was thick, and you was like, how did I used to drink this? Like, this shit is so thick. To me, that's kind of like TV. When you disconnect from it finally and you step away from it, you realize that, you know, there is something much different. I'm gonna give y'all a test. I want y'all to do this. The next time you're with your family, or you see your kids, they're watching cartoons or whatever. When somebody's looking at TV, I want you to turn and look at them. And when you're looking at them, look at their eyes. And what you're going to observe is you're going to observe them being like basically under a trance. They're going to be hypnotized. And how you're going to know this is you can be literally staring at them and they won't even look at you until like the commercial comes on or whatever. Then it'll break and then they'll look at you. But up until then, they'll just be locked into the TV and they're literally under a trance. So if you think I'm bullshitting, check out somebody as they're watching television and just look at them and tell me if I'm wrong if you don't see that trance in their eyes like they're under a spell. All right, so let's see what we talk about next. So I think it'd be funny because I think, like I said, I think Darlene, Corey was trying to sniff Darlene out, letting her know, like, you know. So let's see if they come back next week. I think it'd be funny if they started the show off with just Corey sitting there and Chris and with nobody else there and shit. I think that'd be funny. But I'm with Freeze. I'm riding with the ones that's been shitted on. Obviously, I mean, I'm of them, so of course I'm representing the underdogs. You know, um, and that is some cold shit. You know, the human race is the only race that the only animal that smiles at its prey. That's some cold ass shit right there, boy. Um, so off from there, we're almost wrapping up with the show. We getting towards the end here. Now we get to them talking about them checks, and they do have them checks. They pose a question: can you get the check? Can you get in and out with the check and your soul intact? Sometimes you gotta leave that check there. You know, freedom of speech. Again, going back to the internet, that's what makes this shit so beautiful because you can get on here and say what the fuck you want to say. Whether it be an internet show or a podcast, if you feel some kind of way, press record. Hey, then you got those that do teach to get in line. And to be honest with you, I mean, those that teach the whole philosophy of get in line and shut the fuck up and don't talk back, these are the ones you got to be willing to kill. Because these are the ones that's going to fuck it up for you when you try to fight. So we're going to have to draw that line, people. We're going to have to draw that line. And it's going to have to be a line between the civil and the uncivil. And the line between the conscious and the unconscious. And just know when you draw that line, sometimes that line is going to cut off in your family. It means that you're going to be on one side and somebody you like and love is going to be on the other. And you got to be willing to either wake them the fuck up and get them to get on your side, or you're going to have to take them out. So there's some cold shit that's going to have to happen if you really want to win this fight. Moving on to the ongoing project that Corey wants to work on, the history of white people in America, which would be a dope ass movie that would reveal a lot, and I think it's very doable to put something like that together. It'd be no different than what Trig is doing with the whole Hidden Colors. To see a movie like that would be good, and to see it done differently than what we've seen would be good. So I like to see something like that put together. All right, so now we get back to the jokes, and we end up with the last rant of the Babuick blood. The Babuick blood side of the gang. The Crimson Tide suite, you know what I'm saying? Darlene again getting mad, boy. She mad as shit at Corey. Zoe changes the subject yet again. Anyways, we get to a dope ass show that's out in Minnesota. I'm sure they had a dope ass show with Michael Blazin, Red Grant, and Lunel. Yeah, I'm pretty certain in Minnesota y'all had a ball. I know 5150 Nation showed up. I'm waiting to see some pictures. I haven't seen any on Instagram, so I would love to see some pictures posted up of the show. But I know y'all cats have fun. So now we end off the show with the whole rematch game. Corey basically Zoe's win, saying that he was weak, more or less. And they gonna auction off the game ball, I guess. Interesting. How much money y'all think they gonna raise off that? You know, I'm thinking they probably get what? What y'all think? $500 maybe? If they auction the ball off for it? Who knows? And so yeah, that's the show, man. They're going the basketball game. It'd be interesting to see with these cats how they play, or if they really do it or whatever. And then we finally end off. Let's go ahead and end off with the Bluick, with the Bluick blood.
3 weeks from today. The gym, Corey. And we're gonna announce where it will be, and one more L for that ass. In this region who are down to come, we gonna have. I'm just gonna say it. We gotta make it worth it to the people Because we're not gonna charge. We're not charging anybody to come to the gym.
If you lose again, do we have to play again?
No, because I don't have win. And I'm just saying, I don't even have to talk shit. I'm not talking shit like.
You've been talking shit this whole time.
So, you so little. You so little. It felt like. It felt like I was playing against a little high school boy. I'm just saying, just I didn't have no win. I'm a fat motherfucker right now.
Against a little high school boy.
And you can't do nothing with you a motherfucking
You
fat
got to
motherfucker.
listen, you got to be big as shit, because I'm damn near 200 pounds. So for you to say I'm little, you know how big you got to be?
Look at Darlene like she got somewhere to go. You ain't got nowhere to go. Tell that nigga to wait. Call that nigga and tell that nigga to
Put icy hot on the floor.
ponytail braid. Tell him you're gonna put that dye in his head tonight. All right. What we gonna do with this ball? We gonna wrap the ball off? We'll do a live auction next week for the ball. If you want the ball, it's so one with. But next time we play, I'm gonna fuck this boy up. I'm gonna
think so?
work out.
Think so?
I got the weights at the crib too.
You've been losing 1,000 pounds in 3 weeks, nigga.
Anyone out this bitch to fuck you up, so boy blood.
Hopefully by now, you know, you got your spirituality down, or you're connecting. And really, in order to do that, to best do that, your diet has to be on point. So hopefully at this point you are getting your diet in order, so that you can connect even closer with the creator of all of this. So look, maybe I digress, maybe I'm rambling right now, but hey, this is my shit. This is my this is JohnG's Afterbuzz TV, where I do what the fuck I want to do and tell you how I feel about what the fuck I just saw. So this is 5150 Nation, Juan Carlos Grande, aka John G the MVP, chat room goon. Nigga, don't get it twisted, man. Born and raised representing Milwaukee all day. Yeah.